The next video I make should be about the swastika. There are key connections that connects it to Buddhism, Buddhist psychology, and etc. But this video is about Mithra. I'm sure most of you who have heard Maxwell lectures and other famous conspiracy theorists have heard the name Mithra and how it relates to the Roman Empire, the prophet, quote unquote, Zoroaster, and the Persians, Iran. Mithra, mate Ra. One can interpret it as the mate is more important than Ra. He's said to be carried in a chariot by 4 horses. Just like with the cross, this could possibly represent the water, the soil, the wind, and the sun. Not in that order. A Zoroastrian angelic divinity, Yazata, of covenant, light, and oath. The divinity of contracts, a judicial figure, an all-seeing protector of truth, and the guardian of cattle, the harvest, and of the waters. Mithraism, Roman Mithraic mysteries, were attributed to Persian sources. In the 1970s, scholars note dissimilarities between the Persian and Roman traditions. It is said to be at most the result of Roman perceptions of pseudo-Zoroastrian ideas. So you think about it, most of the perceptions, most of the descriptions of religions given to us here in the West certainly are from a Western perspective, certainly from a Roman mystery school perspective, including of Christianity. That's why people don't understand the martial arts connections, and people do not emphasize and live emphasizing morality in their heart, including carrying their cross, the main message of the Bible, even there in the Western symbolism of Christianity. How could they miss it? The Christian religion is more of a martyr's religion than Islam. Their symbol isn't a martyr. The Christian symbol is. I have no idea how it makes you want to start yelling at the top of your lungs. Unless, of course, you're being drugged covertly, neutered, etc. So when we think about how does this relate, right? What is the word play here? But Chukwuemeka, isn't there some wordplay there in the word? Well, let's look at the Avestan word, M-I, and it's kind of like an O with a line halfway through. Kind of like a yin-yang twist, kind of like the spin X, the cross, you know, and the X, the spin X, the Sphinx. It is spinning the yin-yang symbol. The Vedic common noun Mitra reminds me of the Pope's mitre. I believe it's spelled with M-I-T-R-E, with an E, right? Mitra with an A. The root me, to bind. What you bind on earth, you will bind in heaven. With the tool suffix, that O with a line through it, Ra, causing to. We'll get into more what that means in other videos. I can see that. Something I want to come back to. Thus, etymologically, Mitra means that which causes binding. Preserved in the Avestan word for covenant, contract, oath. So we look at Yazata, right? If the A becomes an I, we could say wise at A. Think about why, this reminded me of why karate, you know, Ra should come before Ka. It should be Ra-Ka, Rak-A, Raka. Okay, not Kara. And of course, this goes back to what it means, right? Empty hands, karate. Okay, Chi-Ro. So Ra-Ka versus Chi, where the H is the fence, right? You can't see with the true eye of Ra, the Chi-Ro. The fence allowing for the self-direction, right? Just like Ka-Ra, if you were to take it in this context, it's the spirit of the people of Shu trying to tell Ra what to do, instead of Ra through Pharaoh telling Shu what to do and defining the atmosphere. It is the atmosphere of fear and greed and cowardice trying to define God, instead of God defining the atmosphere among mankind and among men and women. All right. So we get the bull people of the Nile, how they were associated with Osiris. The ape, right? Brute force, right? The bull, the ape, the anaconda. All right. What is the difference between a chimp and an ape? It's the difference between a grass snake and an anaconda. Mihen and apep. So ape, Apollo, ape, O, lo. Ape, L, lo. Apis. Apep, ape. A pup, ape. Up, right? The apis is said to fly, the cow jumped over the moon, right? We go back to Hathor and how Apis is associated with the sun and so on. Mont, I believe, the destructive force of the sun. So we get, what is that O with the line through it? It's the mind and the body, right? Separate the mind from the body, because the body of Ra is the cat of Heliopolis, the leopard. He's the one who can jump up. He climbs up the tree, right? Ra Cub's ladder is the tree of life. It is the tree of lunacy, in the absence of what makes us sane, which is God. In the absence of God, man is an animal. He's acting like a madman. He didn't stand up and start to walk in the Spirit of God. He wasn't made in God's image if you take away God. He's a madman. You're breeding toward a madman. And if man returns to nature, he returns to nature as a madman without the Spirit of God. So the mind and the body separate. And we look at the cross, right? Mind, body, soul, spirit. Remember, the heart is the seat of intelligence. Yes, bravery is probably the most important form of intelligence. They separate bravery from stupidity. And what makes it stupid? Does it causing your death alone makes it stupid? Well, that would be stupid for a Christian to make that argument, because their symbol is a Christian martyr who chose the Spirit of God over himself, his family. He didn't plant his seed, not in the Bible. And his disciples, his friends and his family and his future generations. He chose God's Spirit. That's what it means to be a Christian. No matter how much you go to church feeling all psychologically driven, right? You're just a singing madman. You may as well be a wolf howling. The fuck you kidding? You're not kidding me, I'll tell you that. All right. So you can see how the Roman perspective was considered in Nazi Germany, right? There was also swastikas found. There are Roman swastikas. Swastikas found, I believe, in the Aegean Sea when this guy in the late 1800s, I believe, was digging for evidence of the Trojan War. Remember Helen of Troy? He's trying to dig for evidence of what does this mean for reproduction, right? Helen of Troy, Aphrodite, right? The apple of discord, etc. Okay? Achilles, right? Heroes, villains, stolen symbols of beauty and the ideal woman, right? Who is beautiful. Okay? She's virtuous and beautiful. Mind, body, and soul. The clothes are the cover. The flesh is part of the tail, forged for God. You can't just say, this person's fat, this person's in good shape. No, you have to say, how did they get there? Naturally. In the martial arts spirit of the Sun Temple, in the divine order, with technology, with drugs, sabotaging other people for the contrast. How did they get there? So you have to separate politics and psychology from true religion. The genes is, right? Genesis. Religion is an honest attempt. Religion in its pure form is an honest attempt open to advice by a prophet or prophets, with the final say given to the prophet or the pharaoh or the top martial arts or somebody with a legitimate claim, not some kind of bitch shit, not some kind of I had a dream, a legitimate claim to the spirit realm, to connect to God, which is Ra, or the spirit realm with natural limits. What do you call someone who can do anything God can do? God. There's only one God. So you're naturally limited, period. You can't say, well, I'm my own, religion controls me. Religion, when told from the perspective of a conquering oppressor, is oppression. But religion in its true form is man's natural direction. The supernatural, natural direction. All right, the difference between angels and demons is where they traverse. Tri-verse, Ra-verse. All right, the spirit realm versus psychology and energy. Okay, am I using psychology? Fuck that shit. Fuck psychology. Why do you think I spend so much time exposing their tricks? You can't see that in what I'm doing. Every once in a while, like in this video, there's a little bit of, how do I present this mixed with the Western mind control and drugs? Yes. But you can't just say, well, he sounds like he's in an opera, Why do I sound like? Did I not go out of my way to explain to you why my presentation sounds like that? Did I not go out of my way to show you before, during, after pictures? Did I not go out of my way to make songs, freestyle raps, and martial art? I've shown you my spirit every way a man can. My goodness. Except for maybe dancing a little bit. Maybe I should bust a few moves, right? It's safe to say at this point it's in vain, but maybe you'll see through what they're doing and see the dance moves, right? And that goes the difference between the moon dance, right? Moonwalk, right? Crip walk, crippled. He's crippled. His spirit is crippled. He's crippled mind, body, and soul. He's not moving in the martial arts Sun Temple direction. He's wearing blue, but he's not wearing sky blue. He's not wearing yellow and blue. He's not wearing white and blue with martial arts meaning. Not for that reason. He's crippled. So there is no, where's the sun walk? The sun dance, so to speak, is a war dance. It's a martial arts dance that helps you prepare for war. It helps your body adjust to the movements one makes when they are on the battlefield. If it's kind of like being a robot, versus your fluid movements, boom, 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 not set movements. If you concentrate on set movements and you're dealing with someone who concentrates on fluid movement, you're at a great disadvantage. You're like, right? You have to stay boom, 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 mobile, unpredictable. Moving in motion like the sun. All right. So, when we look at it, there's lessons to be learned from karate. There's lessons to be learned from taekwondo, kempo, blah, blah, blah. The more variations of martial arts there are, the more you're an idiot if you don't see where the source is. You don't see what you need to do to apply. You don't see that there's different applications. There's different techniques that work for different people, different strokes for different folks, right? Anyway. And, the ideal martial artist is trained from God. He learns from man, but then he stops, right? There comes a point where he moves away, right? And it was something like Shuhari or something like that. They teach in the Japanese karate system, I believe. Wonderful people, Chinese people, German people, wonderful people. All mankind. I'm not racist. I get mad. I say sometimes I put things on my Facebook. Fuck these motherfuckers. Say you have a loved one in the hospital or something, you're getting drugged and shit, you're going homeless and shit, and you see some people trying to look good at your expense. What are you going to say? And for their you're probably going to say, fuck you and them. Fuck you and them, motherfucker. And I apologize when I get carried away like that. But sometimes these things have to be said, and they have to be said to understand what's going on. I'm not perfect. So the first man is inclined to find his way, place, then his trade. The horse before the cart. Romeo valuing the woman more than life, right? Horse, right? Martial arts, right? Mars, okay? 2000 BC, beginning of Rome. That's also the New Kingdom, the beginnings of Rome. That's also the Middle Kingdom. Amen's rise to prominence. Mystery, information, mystery, Capitoline triad considered. I'm basically out of time. Right.